bring back a subject I think everyone knows and loves: sex. Welcome to the Truth is Easy podcast, where we celebrate life,
love,
and flyness. I'm Raina Shantae.
And I'm Doc.
And we're the Massage. You might know me from the Darman videos and my best-selling book, Finding You in Every Script.
You might know me from my podcast called the B&C Podcast.
And you might know us from the TikTok videos where I'm the star.
And I'm running for my life.
Sex before marriage is a subject people are still kind of, talking about.
Really?
No?
Really?
Not anymore. Well, I think so because, I guess not. Because nowadays, because we come from the church, right? We come from the church, we come from the old school where you might have been having sex before marriage, but you wasn't going to tell nobody. Like, because you don't want nobody calling you no names. You don't want your mama getting on you, your daddy, your granddaddy, whoever getting on you. Because, they're like, no, you have to wait till you get married because sex equals supposedly babies, sometimes, most of the time. That's what you do it for. God created it for two people, man and woman, to create a baby, to reproduce. So I think that back in our day, our parents wanted us to wait, go to college, then find somebody to get married to start a family, right? Nowadays, what do you think? Not so much, huh?
Not really.
Really?
I mean, because we are like the generation of old people now. We the old people now.
Ooh,
Yeah. You.
So
as older than me.
Me?
You as in older than me.
You old. You act older than me.
I can be
you
that.
act like a granddaddy.
Well, technically. Nah, I am. So, you right there along with me.
So is it old school that's still thinking, wow, because there's a lot of people that's walking around playing house. That's what the old folks used to tell me.
Yeah.
You can't go around playing house. Like, you need to get married because what does that lead to? You have a woman and a man with babies. They might live together, they might not, but they're still together.
Yeah.
And it's not a real commitment. And it's definitely not a covenant that you are stating to the world and professing to God and allowing people to know that this is real, that this should be something that's respected and valued and that's sacred,
I mean, look, I'm not going to say that it's missing its level of commitment that it used to have. Because again, I think that really depends on how you look at the institute of marriage in general, right? If you look at marriage as an institution that you should only get involved in if you are in love or for love purposes. And that's how I look at it, right? You only should get married for love.
Yeah.
That is not what a whole lot of people get married for. A lot of people get married so that they don't die alone. They get married so that they can pay their bills. They get married because, they're afraid of losing somebody. Like, a lot of people get married for a bunch of different reasons. And so sex, whether it's, premarital or like waiting for you to get married, I think it still goes up to the individual person about like what's smart for them. Now, I can't be nobody judge about premarital sex because I had a lot of sex before I got married the first time. I had a lot of sex before I got married the second time. And so... So you want to do it with myself.
So you an advocate for premarital sex?
I'm an advocate for people being who they are. Right? I say it all the time. People gonna be out here peopling, and so if you like, if holding out or withholding sex is what you're doing to get someone to marry you, I think that's foolishness. I think you're setting yourself up to be looked at
having sex. Is that what you just said?
No, I think if you are purposefully not having sex to get someone to marry you, like that is why you're not having sex. Like if you're not having sex because of your spiritual beliefs, okay, cool. That's what you believe, bet. No worries, I got you. But like if you're using that as a tool to convince somebody that you're worth of something, I'm sorry, I ain't buying it. Right? Because you still are who you are.
That is an interesting way of looking at it. I'm so glad we're having this conversation because I never thought that a woman can use her sexuality as a weapon of not giving it to a man and it's looked upon as bad. I've always heard, maybe, and this is a woman's perspective, that if you're using your sexuality to get a man, like I'm having sex with this man to get him to marry me, then that's looked at as wrong.
Well, there's also women who it's literally like that's the only reason they not having sex with a dude is because they want to be taken serious. Like I've heard that. I've heard that from a number of women, right?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of female friends, have family members, bunch of stuff like that, where you hear women's like, "Girl, if you really want to have something serious with them, don't have sex with them."
Right.
And I'm like, I think that's ridiculous. If that is the reason why you are not having sex with somebody, because you are setting yourself up, but that's the only reason why he with you. You set yourself up.
Well,
Man.
a lot of women will give themselves sexually to a man, and they're setting themselves up in that way because they expect that man to reciprocate with some type of emotion, with some type of covenant, and they've ended up, if this man does not stay with her, giving themselves without receiving anything.
I ain't like the term giving yourself. Both of y'all was giving up something. Because guess what? You gave yourself, you're going to take it right back with you when you leave. You ain't gave him nothing. All you did was gave him access momentarily.
You don't think the flower that a woman has is not giving to a man?
You may be loaded into him for a minute, but you ain't giving it to him. No. Because you can walk away with that when you walk away. So no, you're not giving it. I consider this to be a mutually beneficial transaction.
It's a mutually beneficial transaction.
Yep.
Interesting.
So no, I don't believe nobody giving themselves. No. Y'all is.
I think that we are making love, yes, but especially when you are in the pre-stages of a relationship, right? You're in the pre-stages of your relationship.
Pre-stage of a relationship. What does that mean?
Dating. When you're dating.
Why don't you just say that? Like, you're making it all sound all technical.
When you're dating.
Pre-stages of the convalescence.
When you're dating, the man is out to get what he out to get.
I mean, I've seen situations where the woman was showing up out to get me.
So the man is out to get what he's got to get, but a woman, now hey, I may be old school, I'm an old lady, but
you spent most of your life married.
She is out to get marriage, right? So she wants a husband. He wants what he wants, okay? He wants to find a nice place to lay his loins, okay? It don't matter if that's a wife.
So she don't want nothing but marriage.
It don't matter if that's a wife. It don't matter if that's a girlfriend. It don't matter if that's a side chick.
Hold on.
It don't matter.
She don't want nothing but marriage. Every side chick want to be married. Every woman that's out here having sex with these dudes want to be married. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I think honestly that we all seek some type of unity. Now, I think that it is a defense mechanism that a lot of women use, right, as a side chick, because they feel like, well, forget the relationship since it's so difficult, it's so challenging to find a good man that's going to give me everything. I'll just take what I can get, which is his money, which is whatever he has access to, So I think that it's in those terms. So I said that to say a woman is willing to give her body in exchange for those gifts, the money, the whatever.
Give. Again, give implies you don't have it anymore. But she's always got it.
Well, the thing is that you can have a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'm a spiritual person. So if you look at how God gives, does he ever run out? He's still giving. He's still giving his blessings. He's still giving his love. He's still giving does he ever run out? I mean, he always going to have it, but he's still giving you what it is. So that's what I think about. And I know a lot of women, and that's why I'm saying this is a good conversation, because I truly believe that a lot of women, the majority of women, are taught that what they are giving to a man is themselves, and it is very valuable, and don't allow a man to devalue what it is that you're giving, because it is the gift of the world.
Yeah, I would say, well, again, I don't know.
The best gift. The best gift of the world is a woman.
So,
because not only can she give you her body physically for you to enjoy for your pleasure, but then you also have a partner there for your mind, for your heart, your emotional issues, to cook, to clean, to write, to create, to give you your legacy, your children. I didn't even get to being a mother of your children, so a woman has so much to give.
I would say that a woman has way more to give than sex. I would say sex is low on the totem pole as far as what a woman's value is. I think if you were going to list all of those other things, I think sex is lower on the totem pole than the vast majority of those things, right? As far as actual value, actual tangible value. Okay, cool, no doubt. But if we're talking about having sex before marriage or having sex before a permanent commitment, because if you just got somebody, you have a life partner, because a whole bunch of people don't even believe in marriage no more, right? So you have yourself a life partner. I believe having sex before you are ready, married or not, life partner or not, having sex before you are ready to like own who you are as a human being, own your decisions, I think that is dangerous. Honestly, it is. And most of us out here running around with a loaded gun when we out here, having sex, men and women, because there's like just the desire, like when you first start having sex, like it's like all you think about, especially for dudes. I don't know for women, but man, like I've seen women do some silly stuff when they, sexmatized, I'll say that term, right? But the same thing with dudes. I know, personal experience, right? Guys do all kinds of foolishness just in the pursuit of sex that you will negate real life responsibilities. You will put yourself in bad situations because this is all you focused in on. Rather than, okay, so what's the connection that I have with this person? What do we have outside of sex? And so that's why I say, like, when you're younger and you're not necessarily as mature, you're not thinking about the big picture stuff. You're thinking about like, this makes me feel good. Oh, okay, this is exciting. That's dope, but then you can put yourself in a real bad spot. Whether again it's kids or diseases or bad decisions. Like there's a lot that comes involved when you let your hormones run your life. And that's
I think that you're saying it as a wise
older man. Yes, when I was a young boy out here wilding, I was shooting up clouds,
100%, right? 100%. Sex was the number one thing that was on your mind.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And now that you're over 40, it's like you said, the least thing that's on your mind, which is, I think, for the majority of men that are your age and maybe even a little older and definitely younger, they would say that sex is still very high on their lists. That's what their main focus is.
I'm telling you, I think quite possibly because I was, let's see, this is not one of the podcasts we can say all of that. I was very active.
Yeah.
Right? And so because of that, while I love sex is great. However, it is not the end all to be all because I've had a whole bunch of it and my life was still what it was. You know what I mean? So like, if I ain't had no money, I can still give me a whole bunch of sex. I still didn't have no money. I probably had less money, even though I was getting me a bunch of sex. When I had some money and I was getting a bunch of sex, cool. I still had money. Actually, I had a little bit less money. It always comes down to like a little bit less money. And I think when you like money, sex drops down in significance. In significance, it drops down. Because then, like, honestly, the bread starts to take priority. But then people mess up. They mess their bread up out here chasing. Like, dudes who are married and, like, still have side chicks or go out there cheat on their wives or whatever, you are messing up the bag for some booty.
There are some people that do have a sexual addiction.
You know what I mean?
Some men, and they say, oh, he's just being a man, but that's an addiction.
That's an addiction.
He's sick. Now,
I love sex. However, again, it cannot run my life. I don't know how sex can run your life and you be a committed person. I don't know how you do that because literally it's whenever you walk out the door.
Well, you can love sex with your partner. That's one way you can love sex with your wife.
No, I said you can't let it run your life. I didn't say the lack of loving sex, because I said I love sex.
No, that's what I was saying. It's good that you love sex, but you can love sex with your wife.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Now, this is why I am on the train of like, hey, I'm not going to judge nobody if they feel they got to test the goods beforehand. Again, I know that is not biblical. Right? So you follow what the God you serve tell you to do, right? But I'm just talking about just in logic when we're thinking about that. Hold on, because I got a point I want to lose. So if you was out here and you got married to somebody that y'all don't work out together sexually, now you stuck. You in a marriage with somebody that you don't have that kind of connection with. That's a bad look. That's a bad look, and that opens a whole bunch of doors to a bunch of stuff that you don't need to be out there doing.
Well, yeah, because they do say if sex is good in your marriage, it's like maybe 10% of what it is that you deal with in your marriage. If sex is bad in your marriage, it's 90% of what you deal with. That is the major problem in your marriage.
Yeah, man. So, so that's what I'm saying. Look, when the Bible tells you that you should abstain or burn, right? It's talking about you should abstain from, like get married or burn, right? And it's talking about burning with desire. Because again, all of them hormones jacked up in your head making you do foolish craziness, right? Because you all horned up. So the Bible's like, well, I'd rather you go ahead and get married than burn up and do a bunch of foolishness for this desire, right? So, but just about like making smart decisions, again, hey, look, sex is super dope, and I'm not finna, act like it ain't. but it cannot rule your life, or it will rule your life. You find yourself, you an old man out there in the club still chasing you, this old woman out there still trying to do booty shake videos and stuff like that. You old, go on, sit down somewhere. Like, be productive, do something, you know, because you ain't out there competing with these young girls. These young girls out there doing something, screaming for some change. You hear me? So like, that you only stay in your lane as it relates to that. But when you married and you got yourself your partner, y'all be, you know, have as much sex as you like to, this and that.
Well, the thing is that when maybe, you know, men and women have their sexual peak at different times in their lives, right?
They do.
So a man can have their sexual peak in his his late teens, early 20s. A woman has her sexual peak way later in her 40s or something like that. And I mean, maybe that's something, is that a woman, you know, in her late 40s, if she's a single woman, can feel like, well, now she's more compatible with a younger man.
You tried.
You know what I mean? And even I mean, we see it all the time with older men. You know, I don't want to say old nasty men, but it is what it is. These old men that, you know, they're single for whatever reason. Maybe they never married. Maybe they've been married a time or two, but they still have a sex drive, and they end up with younger women. Why? Because younger women are willing to give them as much sex as they want. And, you know, but they just got to pay for it.
Now, okay, so then that brings in the question, the logic that you just said, right? So you said they got with a young girl because the young girl give them as much sex as possible. But then you said that a woman reaches her sexual peak when she's older. So then why wouldn't he go with a woman who's older, who's hitting her sexual peak?
He could. But sometimes they don't always.
I like them older.
Sometimes they don't necessarily find that match. Because a lot of time, you know, women... You know, a lot of times women in their 40s, you know, they're going through their sexual peak, and then they like drastically drop. Like if you didn't catch it, it's gone. it's gone. It's gone. So then the older man who might be having a resurgence of feelings and things like that is looking for, you know, if he wants a woman, an older woman, he may not be able to find her because she's already like took the dive. You know, she's good.
Maybe.
She ain't grandma.
You find grandma out there in the cat suit.
No, yeah, it's some grandmas in cat suits. So yeah, for sure.
So, so then I take it, because you rose so strong for this, that you are on the you should wait before marriage train.
Well, you know how I feel.
I know what you did.
You know how I feel about spiritual ties. You know, and that's why, you know, I am very careful about, you know, who you share yourself with, who you share your body with, because I feel like it is, though we're not, you know, standing in front of a church, in front of a preacher, it is a covenant, a tie that you are making with a person when you share each other, you know? And so it's a very strong bond sex has. It really, really is. So it's a powerful bond, and it's a gift from God.
Besides you.
It's a gift from God. So I would believe that you should wait. Wait at least until you know that this is going to be the person that you will make a covenant with, or that we walking down the aisle and we gonna have our first time after we get married, you know? So I think it is best to wait as long as you can, because then you'll really know if that person is in it for you as a whole, to be a man that loves you and protects you and provides for you, or is he just there to get what he...
you left it right there.
Yeah.
Like that's a layup right there. That's just right there.
Right in the hole.
You did.
Right in the hole.
There you go.
So that's how I feel. Coming from, I think, a woman's
more
point
mature,
of view.
Older woman.
Oh yeah.
Who's been married the vast majority of her life.
Now, there's a lot of young girls out here right now, child. They living their best life, and they getting money, and you know, they doing their thing. They out here, you know, giving themselves. But the thing is that when you're ready to settle down, and I feel like there will be a time when you're ready to settle down, will you have enough self-dignity? Will you have enough self-love, self-health? Are you taking care of your mental, your emotional, and even your body to be able to carry on a healthy relationship with the man that you choose to be a wife to, and to also to raise children? Yeah. You know, with. So it's dealing with that, you know, because I'm no angel. I am a spiritual person, but you know, I have experienced the pleasures of sex without a covenant. but and I will be honest, because once I did get into that relationship, there were remnants of other partners, right? They're thoughts that you have when you're having sex. You know what I mean? That you don't want to have. You just want to really experience you and that partner, you and your chosen love, your loved one. And those, what do you call it? Thoughts.
Memories?
Those thoughts or memories can't seep in during the act, before the act, after the act, and you could be expecting something that you're not getting from this partner, or it could be even better, than what you've received, which would be amazing. But the thing is that there are going to be consequences to having partners outside of a covenant marriage, I believe. And you don't want anything to tarnish what God has put together, which whatever God gives you is going to be the best. So wait for God's best. That's what I've always said about sin, period. Sin, period, is not just so you can just not have fun. They don't want me to be great. No, God don't want me to be great. No, he wants the absolute best for you. And waiting for the best that God can give you will lead you to an abundant life. The life that you could never even hope and wish for.
Did you wait for the best?
Of course I did. He's right here in front of me.
When she was out there talking about close your eyes, you visualizing somebody else. I know some of y'all was thinking, dang on, man, she coming for that boy right there. She ain't talking about me. Hey, it is what it is. But hey, that's it. But I did. I waited for the best. God bless me. God bless me. And, that's the thing about being spiritual, is that you have to go to God and you have to say, hey, if you've been out here in these streets, ladies, hey, if you've been out here in these streets, you got to do a spiritual detox, not only a mental or physical, you got to do a spiritual detox of these past people that came through you. Okay. Look, also, let's be real about it, man. If you got kids with somebody else, and then you start to get in a relationship with somebody else, that is a reminder of this past sexual experience that can never go away.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, there's some women who, if you get with them, they want you to get rid of all the stuff that you had when you was out there running these streets. But then you come to my house with a baby that ain't mine. Right. Hold on. That's a remnant of when you was out there in these streets.
Yeah.
Right? So, be real about that. Right? And that's men and women. For my brothers, if y'all come in there, you got baby mamas, you got kids or whatever, don't think that woman doesn't have the right to be like, am I sure I want to take on all of this? Because it ain't just you. Same thing with you ladies. It ain't just you. If you got kids, you asking for this man to take on all of that. I want him to love me for me. You also got you. And so on that note, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Another episode of
the Truth is Easy podcast. See you next time.